There's this common saying that the dollar-based pairs like Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD all move in tandem with each other. That's to say, if Euro USD is going up, most likely GBP USD is also buying and AUD USD as well. Should you join issues in terms of analysis when it comes to trading these pairs? You'll find out in this video. This is Proving the Market and I'm Kojak's Pro. Let's show you how to analyze differently two correlated forex currency pairs like the Euro USD and GBP USD and show you whether they actually saying the same thing in terms of their directional bias or not. So without wasting so much time, let's get into the charts. But before we do that, if you have not subscribed, do that now and let's go. So quickly guys, this is Euro USD chart and this is the monthly time frame. Now we'll start from the monthly, then I'll show you something in the weekly. And then we'll also go over to GBP USD and show you the same thing. Now on the monthly, first and foremost, what exactly is Euro USD doing? Now look at my chart, it looks like it's actually a clean chart on the monthly time frame, as you can see. How do we know if this trend is either going up or down? Simply, we look at past data. Now, minimizing this to past data, we can see clearly that this trend was initially bearish with this trend line. And now we've got this trend line broken right about here. So this trend line was broken here, as you can see, and then this entire trend became bullish. As easy as that. If you want to know how I draw my trend lines like a professional, I created a video previously on how to do that. I'll put a flashcard of it right here. You can go and check it out. Now, after Euro USD broke this trend line, it also did break a major zone, which is this zone here. So this monthly bullish engulfing candle broke it as well, and then also came to hit the next monthly zone. Now after that, what happened then? This is where your expertise in reading candlesticks come into play. Now you can see here that there seems to be something like a railroad track candle pattern, candlestick pattern. Now this does not mean that this trend is going to reverse. Look at it carefully. So I'm just going to highlight it, take this one off, and then put this. You see this pattern you see right about here. So this is a railroad track or a rail track candlestick pattern. Does it mean that this trend is going to reverse? No. The only reason that we're having a reaction now is because we have hit a major resistance level, which is the monthly zone, and we've reversed back to the downside. Simple. So what is Euro USD doing at this point? Is Euro USD at this point bullish or bearish? I'd still say, because this is not a reversal candlestick pattern, Euro USD is still technically bullish. Now let's go over to the monthly time, to the weekly time frame. Now in the weekly time frame, you can see this clearly. Right about that area, do you guys see anything that looks like a reversal candlestick? So i.e., we're looking for bearish engulfing candles, we're looking for dojis, we're looking for those two. Do we see anything like that? No. All I just see is just a bunch of candles right about here. This is one slightly bullish candle that got exhausted here, and then these are just a series of bearish candles. It doesn't give me any information as to whether this trend wants to reverse. On the weekly chart, which is a very ideal time frame to look at your candlesticks and also your chart patterns, I don't see that in Euro USD. So I'm still very, very much bullish on Euro USD. Now let's go over to GBP USD and see whether it's telling us the same thing. Now we'll go over to GBP USD and go over to the monthly time frame. Now GBP USD on the monthly time frame, you can see right about that the same scenario played out. Initially we were bearish, and then it got taken off here, a break above this trend line, a retest of the trend line, and then we're up to the upside. So GBP USD as well became bullish, just like Euro USD. Are we continuously bullish now on GBP USD? That is the next question we'll ask ourselves. And how do we know that? So currently we're on the monthly time frame. You see this black line that was drawn right about here. So if you watch my previous video, you will see why I drew this black line. This black line, not a major level, but it is a very solid level, because you see this black line is what constitutes what I call the neckline of a chart pattern that formed previously on the weekly time frame. So this is the chart pattern. This is a head, a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And then this line is the neckline. So that neckline is a serious level. It's not as strong as the monthly level, but it's not something to be toyed with. Period. So I just go back to the monthly time frame. So when I go back to the monthly time frame on GU, you can see that we were bullish and we got up to this black line. And then after we got up to the black line, just look at exactly what happened here, guys, and tell me whether it screams a different story as to what you saw on Euro USD. Now look at this. What do you see there? This is a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the weekly chart of GU. So you've seen that we've had a serious resistance level right about there that GU got to. GU was priorly bullish and it got to this level and created a candlestick pattern there, a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern there at that level. So what do we say about GU? This didn't do exactly the same thing in Euro USD. In Euro USD's case, there was no clear cut, like I told you, just a few bullish and bearish candles here and there. But here, you can see just two candles. The previous one was a bullish candle that got capped at that weekly level. And the next weekly candle was a bearish engulfing candlestick off that weekly level as well. So what does this say? It says that although Euro USD is bullish and there is no clear-cut reason as to why it should fall to the downside, because the chart always leaves clues, especially on the high time frame. The chart will leave clues like chart patterns which we didn't see, reversal candlestick patterns which we didn't see, and the trend has been predominantly bullish. Now, in the case of GU now, you can see that we have created a reversal candlestick pattern, which is a bearish engulfing candle off that weekly zone. And GU at this point is screaming, there is a likely tendency that GU wants to reverse to the downside. But hold on. So what we're doing now is we're investigating the chart like a detective, because I see myself not just a savvy trader, a savvy investigative trader. So I'll just quickly go over to the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, I want to show you guys something. This was a supply region initially for GU, and the market got to this level and rejected price to the downside. Now price came back to the monthly level and bounced off the monthly level. Because it's a monthly level, it's a strong level, and price rallied back all the way to the upside and broke above this supply region. Now as price broke above it, we're expecting a retest of it. Now we had a trade earlier on, but the market wasn't ready. Now in this case, the market has come back to that supply level. It's actually broke the supply level, as you can see here. If we go over to the daily time frame, you can see that the supply level was broken right about here. Price broke below it and has come back to touch it. So what are we seeing now? What is GU telling us? Its counterpart, Euro USD, is telling us that we still want to go to the upside. But GU now is having a lot more issues. A lot of things now are trying to stop or hinder GU from making a continued move to the upside. That's why I say you shouldn't join issues with currency pairs. Trade Euro USD independently, trade GU independently, trade whichever pair you're looking at, CAD, JPY, GBP, trade them independently, because they might be correlated in terms of movement. But if you, based on that, try to take trades of them, you're going to lose. You're going to be losing on them, or you will not be very profitable. What I'll do now is, because of a lot of issues with GU, I'll have to see what exactly GU wants to do. And in this case, the chart doesn't lie. The chart is already telling me all the issues I need to take care of in order to get the positive, the most probabilistic direction for GU. Now, the monthly time frame is saying we are bullish. The weekly time frame is having a lot of issues that I need to deal with first, but I will point them out to you guys on this video. First and foremost, from swing low to swing high shows that GU has come and touched the 50 pip area right about here. Now this is 50 pip area and it has bounced off here because this is also a demand area. It has bounced off here and gone to retest this zone. Now we are in a 50-50 situation for GU. We are in a 50-50 situation for GU. Now if GU holds here, so if this level holds, because the monthly time frame shows that there is a bearish engulfing candle off that weekly zone, there is likely more potential to the downside. There's no kidding about that. There's likely more potential for bearish movements for GU than an upside movement. But the only way we can convert this trade to a bullish bias is if GU breaks above this yellow zone, which is the supply region I told you, breaks above this yellow zone, holds above it, and then we'll begin to trade GU back to the upside and possibly to the next monthly zone. On the flip side, if that doesn't happen, what GU might likely do is what it's already doing at the moment. It's already coming back to retest this zone right about here, which is the weekly zone. Now, because of the bearish engulfing candle which we saw on the weekly, guys, the candlestick patterns, the price action movement on the higher time frame prints what will be seen in the lower time frames. So whatever you see on the monthly chart, whatever you see on the weekly chart, use that bias, use that sentiment, and go and trade in that direction, but in the lower time frames. That's how to trade. So the monthly time frame is telling us that we are overall bullish for GU. However, we got to a very important zone, which is the weekly zone. Now, on the weekly chart, on the weekly zone, we saw a bearish engulfing candle off that weekly zone. Now, that candle completely engulfed the previous month's candle, and that's to show that it's a warning sign. It's a warning sign, and the only way we can ensure that we are actually going to reverse for GU back to the downside is if this happens, if the price now comes to this weekly level or the supply level and begins to and rejects right about here, and once it's about moving, then we can follow it to the downside. Although I will not be taking this type of trade because I've mentioned here earlier, I like to follow the monthly bias. But in this case, if the setup looks really good to take a down trade, I will have to reduce my risk. That's how to trade professionally. So if I'm going to take a reverse trade, I'm going to have to reduce my risk. Why? Because first and foremost, we've not had a chart pattern that will warrant us changing our bias. Our bias is bullish for GU. However, we are having issues with GU, a continued move for GU to the upside. That's just on the flip side. But if our initial bias holds, all I need for GU now is this. Just break above this zone, retest this zone, and I'll be ready to take it to the upside. And once that happens, I will update you guys on how to go about this. If you like this chart breakdown and you want to see more of it, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on your bell notification to get alerted to more videos when they drop. If you have a question, shoot me a comment. I'll be happy to answer. And I will see you in my next video.